I'm the man, yes sir, that killed the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for I was legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the pack of Lewis.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grinding because we all came from hunger pain.
Yeah, Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta, hold it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people, today? Oh yeah, coming with another wonderful episode of Nerd Soul on Screen, talking about Hawkeye coming to that Disney Plus, right? So before we get started, big shout out to Malcolm Lee in the chat early. Big shout out to the Patreon supporters who were like, yo, can you cover this? Will you cover it? Because Patreon supporters be, you know what I'm saying, they be requesting shows that they want to watch, and they get the first dibs on who requests what they get. So anyway, they brought this up. And also I want to give a shout out to MV Media 133 Art for dropping their Kickstarter for Changa and the Jade Obelisk, issue number 2. Put the video up earlier today, this morning, for the interview with those guys. I already put down my, my plans to get them issues. But guys, please consider checking their Kickstarter out. You know what I'm saying? Throw $5 on there, get you a little digital book. You know what I'm saying? A little issue. Now, of course, myself, I put down a little bit more because I want some more. You know what I'm saying? I want those physical issues, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? We back on this. We're going to talk about Malcolm Lee in the chat early, saying, hey, it's a mixed bag, but I'm looking for the meat in this series. All right? Look, I see where you're at. All right, I see where you're at. I'm gonna throw it to some other people already in the chat. Are you feeling Hawkeye right now? You know what I'm saying? Are you feeling it? Are you feeling it where you at? You know what I'm saying? Let me know, are you plus or are you minus? Are you positive or negative on this series? Before we even get started, so I can see where your head is at. And Malcolm Lee said he's loving the artwork. Yeah, it's definitely cool. I reviewed the first issue of Changa, so check that out. We'll get on into this Hawkeye. As a shout out to Disney Plus, I am enjoying these shows in general. We have our ups and downs. We're going to get into ups and downs, but in general, I will say that I am liking the deeper dive and the extra time given to the specific instances and lives of our heroes, especially from the main Avengers team. What makes Hawkeye different in this respect for, before let's drop a little something like, okay. All right, here we go. A little something for y'all to listen to. So, shouts to SP the Soul Prophet. So, I'm not mad. What up, Ghost MKC? I'm not mad at this show in general. I do think we're looking at a mixed bag right now, but I'm not mad because there's a specific, I guess, point of reference from Clint that we don't really get from a lot of the other heroes. This guy's a married man, he's a dad, and he's a dad of numerous kids, meaning that it's not like he's a brand new dad. Like he's like, look, I'm ready to hang things up, which I'll pitch to you what I've been thinking about. I've been talking about offline for a while, but I want to see your thoughts on an idea I have for Hawkeye in general. But, he's a dad. He wants to kind of like hang it up. He doesn't want to really be around all the glitz and the glam, and he's kind of low key. Even Kate Bishop says he's low key. he just kind of wants to kind of like live his life, be a husband, be a dad, and just kick it. You know what I'm saying? Because he's already done all the crazy stuff. Like he's like, hey, I work for Shield or the military or whatever. Then I've been kind of like added into this Avengers team. I've done a whole bunch of crazy stuff from robots to aliens to all kinds of mess. Now I kind of just want to chill out and live my life. You know what I'm saying? And add that in with the tragic loss of kind of like his road dog, his friend. They were closest on the team. With Black Widow being gone now, you know what I'm saying? We find a man that's kind of still reminded of his grief due to the high profile nature of his life and his team and everything. Like he's always going to be surrounded or reminded of the life he's led as an Avenger, or even the life of Black Widow, when they go to the Rogers show. Now, shouts out to the Rogers musical. It's so cheesy and almost exactly what you expect from something like this. Like you're like, what would the Rogers musical look like? And you're like, yeah, this kind of does it. Like from the Iron Man, like flying on the wires. He was like, Ant-Man wasn't even there. like, there's so many things that you look at it, it's like the kind of like the musical, because when you look at the stage show, sometimes the budget ain't all that. So seeing kind of like the way they were casted, how like just how young and non-fighty they looked. Like none of those people looked like they could handle themselves if something went down. And they're singing, doing these cheesy dance moves. It was funny to see the look on his face experiencing it. But then also kind of seeing the representation for Natasha and kind of how it got to him a little bit. Now, shouts to Ghost MKC saying it's about to get crazy. There's so many characters that haven't even shown yet. It's going to be interesting once we get to the grizzle of the story. Because right now we're dealing with, Kate Bishop, trying to get her into the story, get us acclimated to her life, her mom, dad, kind of how she fits into this world. And right now, she doesn't know exactly where she fits in either. Kind of trying to find herself a little bit. And one more thing about Hawkeye at this point is we got someone who's at a transition period, which I think is a great place to be in when meeting a Kate Bishop who is also kind of trying to find herself at this moment where she's in college, you're not a kid anymore, it's time for you to be an adult. Either whether you're a young adult, you're still an adult, and it's time for you to start taking, responsibility for what you do. Like you see her doing this very kind of childish prank type thing that has huge implications with the bell tower. It's like something that a child would do, but also something that an adult should actually see the consequences of if something were to go wrong. And something did go wrong. Someone could have died in that bell tower incident. And that's something that she'll learn is like, hey, my abilities and skills come at a cost. Like, someone could have been in there, somebody could have been doing maintenance or whatever. Someone could have died from that. You know what I'm saying? On top of just like the monetary aspect. Shouts to Ghost MKC says, first ep was better than the second. My main criticism of Hawkeye right now is that 6 episodes may be too short. And I'm going to get into that later on, but I think you may be on to something. And then Ghost MKC says, take a shot every time tracksuit gang member says, bro. Don't do that. You're going to have some alcohol poisoning. But yeah, like Ghost MK say the bell tower was shoddy AF. That's not her fault. It was shoddy, but it was still standing. as long as nobody messed with it. She's the one who pushed that, that house of cards over. So think about it. That bell tower wouldn't have gone nowhere if she wasn't on that roof messing around, shooting arrows and stuff. It's like, look, leave things alone. It's not a toy. You know what I'm saying? But those are things that you learn when you're coming out of a childish mentality into an adult mentality. Now, honestly, I think she probably should have been a little more cognizant of what could go wrong, but things happen, when you're trying to feel things out. So I think this is a good point for both of them. He's at a transition period. She's at a point where she's coming into adulthood. They're both transitioning in some sort of way. He's coming off of being Ronin, off of being Hawkeye, just to be a dad. She's going into trying to figure out what she wants to do. You know what I'm saying? Do I want to use my skills to fight crime? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? So I think this is a good period for both of them. And before I get into her youth, I'll talk real quick about Malcolm's comment. Says, I'm biased. I keep forgetting that this is the MCU, not Hawkeye from the comics, one of my favorite Avengers in the comics between the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s. Yeah, this is MCU. Whenever you're looking at an adaptation, you gotta kind of keep the source material at bay because it's up to them what they use to inform the adaptation. You know what I'm saying? And Ghost MKC said, I was dying when she said, cracked bell never hurt nobody. It gives a character, word out. So I want to talk about the opening scene. The opening scene, you see, mom and dad got problems where this is just how it is. Kate's little kid, she's upstairs, and then all of a sudden, we're like, oh yeah, it's 2012. Yeah, I forgot. This is the event. This is the attack on New York. So I thought adding that in was cool. Seeing how she saw Hawkeye as the guy that essentially saved her being cool. Here's my issue with that scene. Not that the production wasn't good, not that the acting wasn't good, not that, the girl didn't know how to do this or do that. I know her father was killed in the explosion downstairs. But where is your mama at, son? All right, so peep this. Things like stuff crashing, glass all over the place, pow, pow, pew, everywhere, right? She's like, Mom, Dad. She is continually screaming Mom and Dad, right? Like, Mama, Daddy, where you at? Help. There's stuff, smoke and debris and things flying all over the place. Where's your mom? There is no way. What's up, Jenna James? There is no way any parent worth any bit of their salt is not also yelling out for their child and running towards the last place they knew their child was. There is no way that her mom just randomly catches up to her after she's come downstairs and yelled out through. Now, I know we need the shot of her looking out the window and things flying around, but let's be honest. Those shots can also be done with them together, looking outside in horror of what's going on, because I can't see a world where like your mama or daddy or my mom or dad or whatever would just be like, oh, well, I guess I'll just wait till she gets downstairs and then I'll pop up on her like, oh, what? I'm glad I found. I'm like, nah, bro, Yo, your mama skills is on E, son. Ain't her mama the woman from Conjuring? Ain't that? I might be wrong. I might be mixing up white women. But let me know. I think that's, I'm gonna have to look at IMDb. Anyway, yo, come on, man. She is doing the worst mama job out in these streets. Explosions go on and you ain't checking for where your kid is. She been yelling and screaming your name for like the last 2-3 minutes, no response. Now, you could say the explosion happened downstairs and hit her mom and knocked her mom out, and she was like, dazed for, a couple minutes, maybe. But when she rolls up on her daughter, we don't get any visual indication of that. It's not like her mama is all smoked and sooted up or something, or dusted and crusty and sliced up. Her mama just rolled up on her like, hey kid, where you at? Maybe I'm tripping, man. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe like my kid, that ain't gonna happen with my kid. Lady Lisa said I ain't tripping. Like, look, my kid, I'm gonna be like, where is he? What's going on? Now, shout out to the chat. Jenna says, I just wonder how Kate likes having Ron Burgundy as her new stepdad. I knew he could jazz flute, but his fencing, exquisite. I hope the bad man doesn't punt pizza dog. Hashtag stay classy. Oh, man. That's a good one. That's a nice reference. Ghost MKC says, Katie was written better with her character development in one episode than Ray was for a whole trilogy. This is how you write characters that aren't given the spotlight usually. Nice one. Also, Malcolm Lee says, Bates Motel. Yeah, cool. She played Norma Bates. Cool. And then MKC says, I bet you the swordsman is associated with the first Ronin and or is actually a good guy. I could see her helping her to train with Hawkeye. Okay, all right, no problem. So that's a scene that I was like, yo, where your mama at? But getting into this, after seeing where Hawkeye starts and Kate starts, you get in kind of a slice of life of where Kate is. The girl ain't got no fashion sense. And also she thinks that just like being rich and like good at things is gonna like float her. Which to a certain degree she's right, but it is interesting that her mom comes through and be like, no, it ain't. Like we gonna have to pay mad money for what you broke. You know what I'm saying? And like money don't grow on trees. And then she's like, hey, look, what you got ain't gonna be good enough. And the funny thing is, with all the money that she got, her apartment ain't that fly. Now, I'm not saying that she gotta have like gold toilet seats or something. But homegirl it wasn't the best. Like homegirl was living in meager accommodations, if you will. All right? Especially for someone whose mama's walking around with like, what? Lisa, what was that? Like a red silk dress or something? It was like, homegirl was like, they got money. And she living out there like she's some kind of starving artist. But, so like, I don't know. But I do like the fact that her mom kind of took that moment to let her know, like, look, don't get it twisted. Like, just because it seems like there's no consequences, there are. And her kind of being out there in the wind for a little bit, I think will help her gather herself together. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the show, as far as the mother-daughter relationship, I think it's good because there's enough contention there to kind of push the story along. One thing I don't like though, from Ma Duke's side is, how are you finding out that you getting engaged? Oh no, sorry, you already engaged. All right, you about to get married. When was you gonna tell me this? Now, I don't want to follow down the storyline of like, like I don't want you to be with nobody after my dad, because it's like I'm not trying to push this thing like, yo, your mom's still a human being. She's going to meet people that she's interested in or has a connection with. That's not where I'm going down. My thing is like, yo, this is your daughter. She might want to know who's going to be a part of her life too. Like, and not to say that she's going to be living with the guy because she's now an adult, but I mean, this is someone who's going to be in my life through you, and it'd be nice if I had a heads up that I knew maybe that I've met the person before. And then the fact that when I meet him, dude is he's kind of shady / bougie and extra all together. He's like shabuz extra, shab I don't know. You don't generally like the guy when he comes off kind of just So I'm like, yo, your mama skills went from good being like, hey, we gotta pay for this. You need to realize that just because you got money and just because you young doesn't mean that you everything in the world. You ain't that special. Cool, great lesson. Then it's like, hold up, why she gotta find out from someone else that you about to get married? Yo, your mama went from up to down. Shouts to the chat. Jenna said, I wouldn't say that. Marvel has done some really great things recently. Basically, anything Al Ewing touches, Immortal Hulk is the best Hulk run, full stop. Aaron's Thor was one of the best, and Kate's run has been epic so far. So there's some good stuff out there, kind of responding to the earlier comment about Kate Bishop. And then ZSB Lou said, I kind of felt they missed a trick not using some more elements of his classic 616 costume for his LARPing outfit, like a purple tabard hanging down, and some buccaneer boots. That could have been interesting. And like him kind of be like, I gotta put the whole thing on? Because I thought that was interesting at the LARPing stuff where he was just like, yo man, you gotta let me win, man, please. And I get where he's coming from, and we'll get back to the LARPing, but I get where he was coming from with that. So from, I guess her mom, from Kate's point of view, I see why she's so against the fiance at the start, because like I don't even know this guy. And I mean, now all of a sudden he's getting married. This guy's gonna be like part of our family. He's gonna be my stepdad. He's like, huh? What? Now? Right this second? I can see kind of sort of having this attitude towards Jack's character, like, bruh, I don't know you. And then the little bit I do know about you, I don't like. And then finding out later on, like, yo, and you be lying. So like, all I know about you is that I don't like the type of energy you already have, and you be lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why should I want you around my mom's? And what does my mom see in you? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think there's a lot there to explore, but if I was Kate, I can't hate on Kate for how she's treating this dude. And also for looking at her mom like, yo, what is wrong with you? So anyway, let's peep, because I know y'all, you know what I'm saying, I know y'all got things to do today. Let's talk about this party they go to. Kate, I gotta dog you out right now. Your mama asked you to put on a dress. Your mama asked you to put on a dress. Now, I know there's gonna be some women out there right now saying like, she don't have to wear a dress and she don't wanna wear a dress. And she's a woman and she's powerful. And hear her roar. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It's about respect for your mother in an event that she's running, in the kind of the example and the vision that you put on her through you at this event. Putting on a dress for an hour or two because your mom needs you to in this certain specific instance is not gonna kill you. Kind of same thing we've seen kind of shows where like the dad will ask the son, wear your tux or blah, blah, blah. And then he'll come in like a t-shirt and like dress pants to try to be funny. It's like, dude, put on the dress for 2 seconds. So you can like, come on now. Like, cause now what you're doing is not only disrespecting your mother as loudly and outwardly as possible, but now you're also making other people look at your mom funny because they're gonna be like, yo, is this her daughter? You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, look, like, yo, come on, man. Like, look, stop it. Stop it. But in the party is where we get to see like, oh, there's some dirty stuff going on. Because look, whenever rich people doing something in the basement, it's never good. Please let me know in the comments, in the chat or in the comments right now. One instance of rich people doing something in the basement that was good. You won't have one, all right? Because whenever rich people go to the basement, especially if they put on masks or some kind of robe, it's about to be bad. So you got, what is it? The old Jack's daddy. So is it Jack's dad? I think it's Jack's dad. At least how I received it was Jack's dad. But anyway, homie also, he comes off weird to Kate. You know what I'm saying? And then like the little kid come off weird. Then he's arguing with your mom in some kind of side back room. Then you go downstairs. Oh, the uncle. So it's uncle. Sorry, excuse me. So Jack's uncle. Then you go downstairs and there's some kind of weird auction going on. It's like, something ain't right. Like, I don't like y'all doing funny stuff and I don't want y'all around my mama. All right, just like that woman on divorce court we talked about last week. I don't want nobody doing something illegal around me because I want to live a clean life. Thank you. I want my mama to live a clean life and you doing something dirty. Whatever you doing, why y'all down here sneaking? Why y'all can't do the auction upstairs? Huh? Why y'all all quiet down here? All right, y'all got separate catering and stuff in there. Why y'all separating stuff? Yeah, because you're dirty and you're nasty. So the first thing, I would have rung the alarm to Ma Dukes upstairs. I'd be like, look, they shady, and you need to break this off immediately. They downstairs doing wrong, all right? And don't, I know what y'all gonna be like, oh, why, yo, NERDSoul, you wrong. Why can't they just do something downstairs? It's not only downstairs, it's the basement, all right? The only thing that you should be doing in the basement is like, I don't know, like classic hip hop. That's it. Anything else, you're doing wrong, especially if you're doing auctions and you got swords that you shouldn't even have. You got little outfits and stuff. You got a triceratops downstairs. Where you get that? See? Wrong. So all she knows about these people that her mother is connected to after she comes home from school is that they are shady, they lie, and they're dealing in some black market stuff. She has reason to be at odds with her mother. So it's like I can't hate on her. You know what I'm saying? Not for real. Now, shouts out to ZSB Lou real quick. Says, I'm kind of hoping that they go in the complete opposite direction. It would be cool if they subvert the expectation of his retirement and he instead gets a new spark for life, the spirit of his youth, heroism, and fun. This is, after all, in alignment with the spirit of Christmas. Maybe by the end of this, he forms and leads the new Avengers team on the West Coast while Kate starts the Young Avengers. So with this, in speaking about that, I'll jump to what I would like to see from Clint. Now at this point in his life, where he's kind of like, hey, I'm done doing all this. I'm old. You know what I'm saying? I just want to chill with my wife and love my kids and be a dad. You know, they need me here. They don't need me risking life and limb. What could be cool is like, I will check it. I can just be like the coach, the leader, the headmaster, the mentor for the Young Avengers, but I stay out of the field. Like, you know what I'm saying? I train them to go out, but I stay at home because I'm a home dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm a home man. All right, I stay at the house. I don't need to be doing all out there shooting people, shooting bullets, busting me in the head and stuff and explosions and stuff. I'm too old for that. All right, I'm like Danny Glover and Lethal Weapon. I'm too old for this. But I got the knowledge, the experience to get to the youth. You know what I'm saying? I kick the truth to the young. Well, it's like one black youth, but you know what I'm saying? I kick the truth to the youth. You know what I'm saying? I say, hey, youth, here's the truth. Better start wearing bulletproof. Look, if you know that reference, you know it. Anyway, you know, give them the tools and the talent and the training, and then let them go out and be the young Avengers, be the best and brightest they can be. And then I stay here and I just give them the skill, you know what I'm saying? And maybe hang out with, you know, on the comms, and you know, you look at the screen and you like, oh, go left or something and go right. And you know, you stay home because you know, you old. You can't be running around, mess around, tear ACL. You're like 50 something. You can't be out there just beating up people. Not to say you can't beat up somebody when you're 50, but it's not a good look. You know, your bones is getting brittle and stuff. You can't, look, you just gotta let that go. You don't, look, hey, I'm just keeping it real. So, I think I'd like to see that. But, we do find that Hawkeye's still spry. Because after this weird explosion at the auction, and the fight scene, which I think is decent, I think the fight scene in the cellar is decent, or the basement or whatever is decent, because Kate doesn't win everything and she doesn't lose everything. Because she talks a lot about being like, I was a black belt and I was in the Olympics. That ain't got nothing to do with a street fight. I'm sorry. Now, don't get me wrong. That training helps you, but as someone who's done like point matches in like Taekwondo and karate, and also like boxing and stuff like that, all that goes out the window in a street fight with someone who wants to kill you. You know what I'm saying? That goes out the window. So all this like, you know, I was a black belt, that don't mean nothing on the street, bro. It don't. It's weird. It helps, but it's so different. It's like, for instance, like I'm sure Ghost MKC said it reminded me of Daredevil. Yeah. So it's kind of like, you know, I'm sure in the Air Force, they put people through flight simulators for hours and hours. But still, once you get in the plane, it's much different. Just like being in the plane and then going to fly a drone it's similar, but the disciplines and the mindset is still different. You know what I'm saying? So I do like the fact that she got tossed around a little bit. Now, she did do that weird like flippy-do move that they have a lot of women do, which is like, I would like to see women handled in fight scenes differently, because I think the moves are so showy that I feel like a woman at that size would be better for her to be more efficient than showy in her fight moves. I would like to see a woman fighting similar to how they do the lady that was in the second Raid movie. There's a brother, I think they're brother and sister. The brother has a bat and I believe the woman has knives. But check me on that. I think the brother has the bat and the woman has knives. But anyway, it's just, the moves always seem like very showy that they give to these women that are usually physically smaller, when I think someone with swifter weapons like knives would be more efficient. But then you're also getting into something that's a highly rated R property, as opposed to, you know, something that they're trying to service for like a broader family audience. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I also understand there's a large difference there. But with that, I think the fights go pretty well with how she's kind of like learning, realizing where she needs to kind of like watch her back, maybe run if she needs to, and kind of be creative, kind of like with the bottle trick that she did. So there were some cool things in that fight, and I thought that fight scene went well, and I was engaged. I was also engaged at the fight scene where she found out that she had been followed. And she kind of, not have been followed, sorry. The fight scene where Hawkeye came in to save her. And you see her kind of doing well, but realizing that she's yo, I'm super outnumbered. And homegirl just locked herself in the car. And it's interesting to see that mindset where she kind of sort of just shut down, where it's like, oh, I'll just get in the car and lock it. It's like, girl, that ain't going to end the fight. They're not going to be like, oh, well, you got me. So that was cool to see how she kind of hit a wall and just didn't know where to go. But Hawkeye will train her past that. And then, by the end of this, she'll be super nice. Ghost MKC says, Kate's going to be a problem when she gains more Avengers level experience. Yeah, I figured by that time, she'll be super nice with it. So, by episode 6, she'll be good. She ain't going to have to worry about that. But those fight scenes together, I thought were really great. Another thing that I enjoyed was the LARPing that I think Zeus B. Lou brought up earlier is I thought it was something that was, of course, played for comedy. And he probably could have rolled up and just been like, look, get out my face. I'm going to do what I want to do. But his affinity for trying to stay low key and trying to, kind of trying to make sure that he doesn't cause too much of a stir. I thought it was cool. They didn't overplay it for what it was. And I enjoyed his time getting his LARP on. And even when the guy was like, look, man, let me win. Like this, I get where he's coming from. Like, yo, this is going to make my day, my year. The time that I rose up and took down Hawkeye. And for you, it's nothing. Like, it's kind of like when, like a baseball player spends 5 minutes talking to a kid after a game. He'll never forget that moment. And it costs you really nothing. You know what I'm saying? A couple minutes of just talking, like, listen, it costs you nothing. So seeing like someone who's a hero kind of stop and like actually play this game with you guys, they'll be like, hey, remember the time an Avenger came and like played with us? Like that'll be, never forget that, man. You'll never forget that. So I thought that was dope. And it was kind of funny where it was just like, oh, you got to make it look good. So I thought that was cool too, man. I thought it was real fun. Geeky Andre says, Clint is really giving me John McClane vibes and it's cool. Hawkeye has always been a cool, underrated character. I'm glad he's getting his due. Yeah, and the way they play this, the thing that I thought was funniest when the trailer came out was when he was like, oh, cool, this is going to be the best Christmas ever, girl. I'm going to be there on Christmas. I was like, oh, no. You're going to get beat up for this Christmas. But for the first 2 episodes, I did enjoy them. And I had a fun time watching them for the side of kind of opening up what's going on with this family of Jack Duquesne, finding his uncle dead and the way he's dead. Kind of like the mystery about that, like what's really going on, what's he really into. The tracksuit mafia actually being the tracksuit mafia is also interesting. Kind of like the bro of it all. I thought that was interesting and fun to watch. I do think, I think they were a little bit lazy in like leaving the suit because I was like, they just wanted this to happen. And also like, I don't think her apartment had to burn down because I was like, yeah, there's fire in here, but like, I don't think it's too much fire for y'all to stop. But hey, what do I know? I don't know nothing about fire like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't a fire marshal. You know what I'm saying? So seeing her at a point where she's kind of opening the door to a little bit of mystery, maybe a little bit of conspiracy. This guy that's shady, also kind of falling into this tracksuit mafia gig and Hawkeye and their dynamic together. I like how we're getting a slow burn there. I will go back on, I can't remember, let me know if Zeus or maybe Malcolm, someone said that 6 episodes might be too short. That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if seeing these 2 episodes, I'm like, yo, 4 more episodes, are we going to be able to wrap this up? This might be served in a situation where, what was it? Falcon and Winter Soldier. I felt like we probably needed another episode or like a double-sized finale. You know what I'm saying? Like, because sometimes things get squeezed in that last episode when it's like, hey, we might have been served better by just having one more to kind of let this kind of prologue breathe. You know what I'm saying? Or epilogue, sorry. Kind of like let this epilogue breathe a little bit. But we'll see. Because I kind of like where we're at. I'm not mad at it. I wasn't blown away, but I'm also not turned away. There's some things in here that I think are cool. I like Hawkeye at this point in his life. I'm interested in Kate and, you know, the whole thing that's going on with Jack, especially with the whole fencing part where you already knew he was kind of holding something back because we saw him in the basement. And now with his fighting skills, it's like, you're lying. Because Kate was getting increasingly mad, like, don't let me win. You're letting me win, and like that whole thing. So I think I'll say I'm interested in this one. Way more so than I was interested in, WandaVision, but probably less so than Falcon and Winter Soldier, but maybe on par with Loki. Yeah, that might be where I put at least the premiere right now. I'm in for this one, so I'm down. Especially when you talk about her thinking she was gonna save Hawkeye. Yo, the funny thing about this and the way she fell in the I guess the warehouse or whatever, she's human, so they had to make sure it looked like, yo, you know that hurt. Like, this isn't Thor falling down where he can kind of like brush it off. Like, oh, it's a little bit of pain, but no big deal. I'm a god or whatever. Or like the Hulk falls down. Or even like if Iron Man was still here, if he fell down, but he's inside the suit. No, that's just body. That was just body that hit some concrete floor. That hurt. Like, she hit that floor, she was like, oh. She was like, I didn't plan for it to go like that. So that was cool, man. So in general, I think I'm plus on this. And shouts to Jenna saying, the minute he called himself Grills, well, I won't say more here for non-readers, but that was a bit of a bummer. And then Ghost MKC said, I can do this all day. Yo, man, that musical was a doozy. I'll just say that. It just look cheesy. But have y'all seen clips, or maybe y'all been to it? Have y'all seen the Spider-Man musical? There's like a Spider-Man musical or something like that. It ain't all that. But at least what I've seen online, it looks kind of like the similar thing, man. Oh man, so shouts out to the musical folks out there doing their thing on stage, man. I mean, hey, what can you do? And Malcolm Lee says, okay, I see the Daredevil light vibes. That skylight was funny. Shout out to Silhouette the Animator, said turn off the dark yay. Oh man. But I like where they're going with this one. So I think I'll say I'm happy where it is right now. Right now, happy with it. I'm thinking that we might be too short, but we'll see. So, of course, guys, with that said, shouts out to all y'all. Just wanted to hit y'all up on a Black Friday because we black. We doing what we got to do. Shouts out to everybody out there doing their thing. Blurtish, Thought Crimes, 133 Art, Envy Media. Who else? We got RJ the Nerdy Brew. We got a lot of people out there shining today, doing their thing. Don't forget, NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those places. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs down, and then hit that thumbs up again, and shout your boy out. Make sure to share this to your people. Don't hide that nerd soul. You know what I'm saying? You'll be up in the stream, be like, let me go and share this. Share it to my peoples. All right? Tell them to subscribe and all that good stuff so we can hang, chill, talk, you know what I'm saying? Geek, hip-hop, sports, whatever. Because this weekend we got Young Justice tonight. We got divorce court tomorrow for all y'all people that want to be talking about them divorces. We got some more divorces for y'all. We got Star Trek this weekend. We got NERDSoul Sports this weekend, and we'll be doing some more ranked matches because we haven't been in ranked matches in Guilty Gear Strive in a while. So we'll be talking about the new Project L. We'll be talking about DNF. We'll be talking about Guilty Gear Strive, of course, and Coming Happy Chaos, who, depending on this moveset, I might be rocking with Happy Chaos. We'll see. So, guys, to the chat, shout out to Jenna James, Malcolm Lee, ZSB Lou, Ghost MKC, Geeky Andre. Let's see who else rolled up in here. Silhouette Animators, shout out to all y'all. It's so beautiful to see y'all sunshiny faces. And the last comment that I'll talk about is ZSB Lou. Said, in my opinion, so far only Shang-Chi, WandaVision, and Loki could be considered good. The rest is all meh, including these 2 Hawkeye episodes. What? You talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier was meh? What? Now, honestly, Shang-Chi was on the, I don't know if I say meh, but it wasn't great. Shang-Chi, for me, or Shang-Chi. I don't want nobody coming in here, you ain't pronouncing it. He said it in a movie. No, Shang-Chi, for me, was a middle-of-the-road film. I thought that Black Widow was middle of the road. Shang-Chi was middle of the road. I haven't even seen Eternals because people have just been telling me don't even go there. So I'm scared to even check it out because I've already been told by some reputable folks in my circle that it's not worth it. Just wait until it comes out on Disney Plus. So so we'll see. But those were, Shang-Chi is alright. I think the problem that I've had with Shang-Chi and Black Widow is that I get phase 1 vibes from them, and I feel that we as an MCU universe are kind of past those things. We should be going on to, like, we phase 4 now, you know what I'm saying? Or phase 4, 5, phase 4, whatever phase we in, we ain't in phase 1, all right? And I'm like, y'all doing phase 1 things, and I can't be down with that, you know what I'm saying? But also, on the TV, I've been enjoying a good bit of the TV. Like, so I can't be mad at at MCU as a whole, I'm generally still positive. Yes, the movies haven't, blown me away, but the TV's been coming through strong for me, so we'll see. Malcolm Lee says, slander in the court, Captain America was bars. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Anyway, we out of here, y'all. Spotify for music, podcast for listening. Please make sure to share. Consider the Patreon. Do not sleep. You know what I'm saying? Your boy lets y'all get to, choose the shows, unless I just can't handle it. You know what I'm saying? If it's something I don't like, I can't hold y'all down. But also shout out to who came up in my chat early. It wasn't you, Zeus. It was somebody else. Was it Z? No, it wasn't Jenna. It was Jess and King. And I don't even think Jess is here. Jess, if you here, raise your hand. But I want to give a shout out to Jess and King. Jess and King came in another video talking about you going to cover Hawkeye. First thing, don't be coming in other videos asking for other videos. Anyway, look, I love all y'all. Thank y'all for rolling through. From us to you, we thank you for watching, and peace. Get ready for some P.L. Parker Lewis, and get ready for some Architron. See y'all later. Young Justice. We out.
I'm the man, yes sir, that killed the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for our label to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the Parker Lewis.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grinding cause we all came from hunger.